Diálogo was present at the annual South American Defense Conference, SADC, where defense leaders met to discuss defense modernization, build interoperability, and strengthen relationships. The two-day event took place in Santiago de Chile, and Diálogo had the opportunity to speak to some of the leaders from the region.
Thank you very much for your time for Diálogo, to speaking to us here during SADC. The first question will be, what are the latest advances in the fight against organized crime in Suriname?
So we are making some advances. We are at the political level. We have more engagements. We briefed the president about all the security issues we have and the bureaucracy that we deal with. Because usually when operations need to be implemented, we sometimes deal with financial constraints, and all these briefings to the president himself are valuable for him to take away all these barriers. That's on a political level. On the strategic and operational level, we also increased dialogues between all the security forces, and within that context, you see more operations on interagency level. An example is that we recently implemented the maritime domain operation that's called Sparimaka. Sparimaka in English is stingray, and that's where we wanted to merge all the security forces in the maritime domain. It was a pilot operation for about 2 months, and within that operation we inspected more than 120 vessels. We came across about 34 illegal immigrants, majority coming from Guyana and Brazil. And we also inspected a vessel where we were confronted with contraband. And so it was a pilot, and it was a successful concept, which we will continue. So that's one of the advances, to merge all the security forces. In the same context, we also have more engagements to tackle the illegal airstrips. Until now, we started to do into the agency level an operation where we destroy airstrips. We started in 2022, again after a long time, and from then on until now, we destroyed about 16 airstrips. Wow. So we know it's just a portion of it, but we tackled it. So that's one of the advances that we have through engagements on political and strategic and operational level. And from that side, we increase all the interagency operations. So we have some advances until now.
What is new regarding the cooperation efforts with neighboring countries, French Guiana, Brazil, and Guyana? You already spoke a little bit about that, and Guyana, to counter narco-trafficking and transnational criminal organizations?
So within the Guyana Shield, we have the instrument called Guyana Shield Strategic Dialogue. It is a very valuable instrument for us, because on that platform we share knowledge, we share challenges, and we also identify the capabilities that are eventually shared with each other. And one of the takeaways from the recent dialogue that was in February this year is that we will synchronize all maritime operations. And I've spoken with the general, the commander of the French forces in French Guiana this morning, and we will have a follow-up discussion about it, how to coordinate the synchronization of all the maritime operations. We have seen it, that if one state controls or increase its control, the border transnational criminal activities are placed, or I would say they flow to one of the other Guyana Shield partners. So we came with the plan to synchronize all these maritime operations. So that's one of the key takeaways from the strategic dialogue. It will be valuable.
What kind of engagement or exchanges training the Suriname Armed Forces focused on so far this year with Southern Command, and how these benefits the Suriname Armed Forces?
Yeah, with Southcom, we have regular engagements. At the moment, we focus on capacity building. We have 10 military that are attending our training activities or courses in the US. We also have all regular engagements, for example, within CARICOM, where we have trade winds, where we have subject matter exchange, expert exchanges. We also have regular visits from authorities from the US. And we also send military to the US for visits. So there is a good cooperation with the US. And the second thing where we focus on, if we look at Southcom, is to share information about the transnational criminal activities. Last year, we got some information about the increase of illegal flights coming to Suriname. And unfortunately, it has increased by 100%. So internally, we looked at this threat, and that's why we increased our engagement on political and strategic level for us to at least give an answer to this transborder crime. So that's in short our engagement with the US. We do a lot with the US, not only with Southcom, but also part of the state partnership program, where we partner with South Dakota. There we have a very huge engagement rate, I think between 20 and 25 engagements on year base. That's a lot. And it is, for example, subject matter expert exchange or humanitarian operations. So this cooperation is also very valuable for us.
Cybersecurity has a crucial role in modern defense, but it is an intrinsically dynamic process which defenders, attackers virtually develop responses to each other's moves. In May, the computer network of Suriname's government suffered a cyber attack. What kind of cooperation and exchange of best practices with partner nations and with the United States and the Suriname Armed Forces carrying out to strengthen these cyber capabilities and continue to national efforts to counter cyber threats?
Yes, cyber security is the main responsibility of our National Security Directorate. That is part of the Cabinet of the President. So they are the overall responsible agency that tackles cybersecurity. Referring to the incident in May this year, when they discovered it, they shut down all the government sites, but they were successful in bringing online all these sites again. And since then, they changed an interface just to have more control on this interface. Going through emails for government, it's not possible through normal interfaces. There's a dedicated interface implemented recently where they have more control. So that's in regards to national security. But if you look at the Minister of Defense, we don't have the capability yet to assist the National Security Director. What we have implemented 2 years ago was a cyber security cell within the Ministry of Defense. But at the moment, it is more on the level of measures or instructions for defense personnel, how to deal with security, how to deal with cyber, how to deal with social media, etc. So that's the phase where we are right now. We don't have the capability yet to tackle or to help mitigate or counterattack cyber attacks. We're not at the level yet.
This year, you participated as an observer at the conference of the American armies carried out in February in Mexico City. What were some of the most important takeaways for this multilateral forum for the South Suriname Armed Forces?
Well, we gladly participated during the CAA. After 12 years of absence, we are again as observer. For us, it is a vehicle to be present in the region and on international forums. It is important to be present because at these forums you get to know the recent updates, recent information, the share of best practices. Also, you get to broaden your network. For us, it is important to be part of these multilateral platforms such as CAA. And within this context, we gladly participated during activities. And recently they had a first communication exercise where all the participating countries they had a communications exercise, and Suriname was part of it. After so long, we had international interaction, and it was motivating for our troops. So that's one of the few good things that we got from CAA. But the most important one is that you need to be present at these platforms. They need to hear your view about certain issues, and it's better to give inputs, to co-manage and co-influence the region than to walk behind the facts. So for us, it's very important to participate during CAA.
The last question will be, what have been some of the advances in the fight against illegal gold mining, and what kind of cooperations do you have with neighboring Brazil and other partner nations to combat this scourge that destroys and pollutes the environment?
Well, to be frank, we are making slow progress. It's not what we expect, but that is due to the fact that we have institutions that works alongside each other. We need to merge our forces. We need to merge all the capabilities, but we are not there yet. But from the responsibility of the defense force, if you look at our constitution, we have two main tasks. One is to defend the state, the nation of Suriname against any military aggression, foreign military aggression. And the second task is to support civilian authorities. And one of these civilian authorities are the police forces, and we also give support to what we call the public justice department. As long as they request support, we help them. In this regard, we have seen that the public office is increasing its enforcement on environmental crime. So that's the way how we support within the gold mining or tackling illegal gold mining. And right now we are in the process to do on operational level some operations to eradicate all this illegal gold mining. But it takes more. That's why I said earlier, it is not going as we want, but soon we will have an answer to it.